Hey guys, welcome back to FIFA 22 Arsenal Career Mode. And yes, guys, I have revived this career mode. And of course, the main thing that I want to do in this video, especially in this video, it's more of a podcasting going through Arsenal season for 2021 and 22, and of course, giving a lot of my perspectives into the team and stuff like that. And well, behind on the background, you guys will see pretty much the third season that I am going to be with Arsenal. And the main thing that, of course, this episode or for the future few episodes, it's more of it's more playing the Champions League only, simming the Cup games and also the Premier League games as well. I've made a few signings in this episode as well, so just kind of like sit back for you guys and just listen and just it's more of a podcast mode for now, but hope you guys enjoy the following content, and be sure to like this video and of course subscribe to my channel if you guys are a huge Arsenal fan. You know what, if the fan base is pretty much kept on growing, I will definitely make more videos or podcasts or video slash podcasts on this channel soon in the future. But of course, first thing I do want to address for Arsenal is the big topic that Gary Neville and also Jamie Carragher did kind of predict the squad or the teams the earlier season. Of course, Arsenal could be an underachiever, but honestly, in terms of this question, is did Arsenal underachieve? The thing is definitely no for sure, because of course if we underachieved, we probably just made it into Europa League. But of course, at one point in our season where we kind of enjoy our win, it's more of a streak, to be honest. But yeah, I actually did enjoy back in around October to December, that period before losing to Manchester United. The game against Manchester United, Arsenal has a pretty nice run in terms of games, and I actually did enjoy them very, very much. And it is probably the season where I feel like, we actually going somewhere. It's actually, the project is actually working. And yes, I definitely do. Arsenal did overachieve this season, which I do love it. Yes, it's disappointed. I was disappointed where we missed out the Champions League in the end. But you know what? When you look back at earlier this season, saying that Arsenal has a chance to qualify for the Champions League, no chance. Simply no way. And you know what? Arsenal might have, potentially, I would say, I really do want them to end in a Europa League or Europa Conference League spot. But you know what? At one point we were at fourth pretty consistently, and you know what? That pretty much shows what our club can do. And with the signings that we made over the summer, has been fantastic. The youth development in the team has been great as well. Think about it, like Bukayo Saka. I didn't know about this young player back in 2019-2020. He did made a debut for the club, or for a few games at least, and I was intrigued by him. He was around 17-18-year-old, a winger, very good dribbling, of course, but didn't really know about him. Of course, saw him a few times on the TV, and you know what, I thought this guy could be special until he moved to the next season, 2019-2020 season. He has been a big part of Arsenal, to be honest. Kieran Tierney was out, and Sead Kolasinac was kind of falling out of favor, and he kind of stepped in his left back role. He did a good job, and right now he kind of promoted himself all the way to right winger, and he has become a very prominent player for Arsenal. And honestly, he is currently by far my most favorite player in the squad right now. Second, I would say Odegaard. You know what? Very good player as well. I'll put, honestly, I know this one's quite controversial, but Granit Xhaka, it's definitely up there for me in terms of player of the season. But you know what? In terms of player of the season, I will, I'll put that in another section in this video. But of course, overachieving, yes, we definitely did overachieve, and yeah, it disappointed how we ended, but we have a few good runs of games, especially in a few months where we beat against Chelsea, United, West Ham. But you know what? pretty much the two of the last 3 games of the season against Tottenham Hotspurs and also Newcastle. That one was pretty much the ones to blow. And actually, my dad is a huge Arsenal fan, and I think back in December he did predicted that Arsenal needs to at least win, needs to have at least 72 points, I believe, to qualify for the Champions League, and he's correct in the end because Spurs qualified with 71 points. So you guys can do the math, but yeah, it is. I would say I would say this season it's successful. I'm not saying like very very successful. I'll definitely give it an 8 out of 10. Again, those 8 points is that when we perform really well, we're out this world. And of course, this team, it's really based on around youth player Martinelli, Emil Smith, Saka, Odegaard, and of course a lot more young players as well. But yeah, in general, a very good team as well. I think this team is still very young. That's why giving a 8 out of 10, it's quite incredible, to be honest. So that's the point I would give. But the 2 points that we lost is pretty much, I think a lot of pundits said it, or a lot of Arsenal fan broadcast channel did mention about this, is when we concede the first goal, we pretty much just fell apart instantly. We barely have a game where we actually do make a comeback. And of course the notable game that we actually made a great comeback was against Wolves back in February. Again, I was watching that game. I literally jumped when Lacazette scored, and turns out it was an own goal, but it wouldn't matter because again, the feeling of winning in the last minute is always fantastic. It's always feeling great, incredible and stuff. So yeah, moving on to the second section of this episode, it's more of a players rating. I love to do all this kind of players rating, kind of go through what they did over the season. And of course, first player, I'll actually go by numbers. Number 1, it's Bernd Leno. Again, first 3 games wasn't impressive. Conceding, I think, conceding 9 goals in total, which is not a very good. It's not a very good thing on the resume for a goalkeeper, especially conceding 5 goals against Man City. And he's a very good shot stopper, and most likely he is going to go for this season. But in terms of rating, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Honestly, just Ramsdale taking his place, and Ramsdale, of course, in this team, Ramsdale plays better. But I think overall, I would say Bernd Leno is better than Ramsdale. I gotta put it out there. I'm sorry if some of you guys might disagree with my rating, but honestly, I do think Leno, like this season, Leno hasn't been performing well. But when he came on against Aston Villa, big part. He's a big part of the win, making a few good saves in the end. But in general, I know he's going to leave with Ramsdale being to Arteta, a much better football player, much better goalkeeper in terms with his feet and with his distribution as well. But of course, yeah, Leno, 6 out of 10, just couldn't prove himself. He just couldn't get back in the team. But overall, I do think Leno, as a goalkeeper, overall goalkeeper, I think Leno was better than Ramsdale. Actually, I'm not going to go by numbers. I'm going to go by a position. Next one, it's Ramsdale. I will give him a 7 out of 10. Yeah, 1 rating higher than Ramsdale, but because Ramsdale played way more games than Bernd Leno. Again, Ramsdale, when he when he first started for Arsenal, was a little bit skeptical with the signing €24 million for a English goalkeeper who relegated with his two previous teams. And of course, people are joking about how he could possibly relegate Arsenal as well, since he's a keeper, plus he played with Bournemouth and also Sheffield United. Didn't quite work out for them in the end, but 24 million is a lot for a backup goalkeeper. That's what we thought, but turns out he was fantastic. I would say I highly rated him. The first 3 months until January, he has been fantastic for us, making a good save again. The one against Leicester City, and I believe there's one more that I think he did a very good job. Was against another one against Leicester City through a free kick as well, and those two definitely left a good marking for us. But distribution in the first half of the season has been fantastic. His handling, diving, and stuff like that, very impressive. But towards the second half of the season, he kind of fell off a little bit. I'm not very impressed with his distribution, making a lot of casual mistakes. And the one that I do remember was the game against Liverpool at home, when Diogo Jota scored the first goal. Honestly, that one's savable, to be honest. Yeah, I know Arsenal might not have a chance to win it, but the fact that getting beaten at a near post like that is just kind of a very costly mistake. And again, his distribution wasn't impressive to me towards the end, and honestly I felt a little bit shaky. I felt shaky for him, and wasn't really at one point I was like really worried about his distribution, because again, he is arguably the best goalkeeper that we ever have in terms of playing distribution football. But overall, 7 out of 10. I feel good. I would say he has a very good season for Arsenal in general, but hopefully there are still places where I still hope he is going to improve in a lot of areas, but hopefully he's going to do that. Right back, Takahiro Tomiyasu. I'll just call him Tommy at this point. Yes, when we first signed him, again, an other Asian player coming to Arsenal, and I believe the previous Asian players that came to Arsenal, it's Park Soo-young. Again, Park Soo-young, great player, was in Monaco, I believe, but hasn't been used by Arsene Wenger, so kind of a little bit skeptical in terms of having Tomiyasu as a right back, because again, he can play as a center back, left back, everywhere he can play. But you know what? Honestly, the first game against Norwich City, when he came on, very, very impressive. Has been arguably probably one of the best signings that we have in the transfer window. Very consistent, a very simple, basic footballer. Just performing all the fundamentals in the game, and has been influenced a lot of the plays. Those one-touch football he has, the aerial defense that he has, which is always a huge plus. And he works hard off the ball and on the ball as well. And of course, there's definitely a lot of highlights that he has performed against the one against Leeds United away from home, where he was kind of holding a player, going dribbling down the right-hand side, and the end got fouled. But it's unfortunately how when we needed him the most throughout the season, he got injured. And it's just a shame how injury just kind of took a few points away from him. But the calf injury, again, hopefully next season he will be much more healthier. We really do need a very healthy squad, especially in the back, since we struggle quite horribly towards the end of the season. But overall, given 7.5 out of 10. Cedric, this is a tough one. I'll give him 5 out of 10, because a lot of time, he is a decent backup, but he is not the player that could take us to another level if we actually qualify for Champions League football. Europa League football was fine. I would say it would be fine for him, but if it's Champions League football, he is definitely not going to play for us in the next season. But since we are playing the Europa League, it sounds like, based on the news, based on the sources, sounds like we are going to keep him for a year or two before actually find a proper replacement for him. Again, he is decent. I will give him 5 out of 10 for sure. Shaky moments where, the free kicks and the corner kicks issue. He has when he cross, he is much better than Bellerin and other plays that we had from before. Crossing was probably one of his big part of the game. But you know what? I think sometimes he was just overdoing on the right-hand side. And defensively, he is probably one of the weakest link that we have. At times, he would perform adequately, but never to a point where, oh my God, defensively, he has been fantastic for us. Never happened, but 5 out of 10, it's pretty generous for him. Ben White, great player, definitely. Very good on the ball, and of course a little bit of a shithousery at some point for us in big moments. He's definitely 8 out of 10 for me. Just a shame how in the end he picked up a hamstring injury, just missed out a few games. Again, 50 million pounds, or just put 50 million euros or $1 million for a center back. Yeah, a big price tag for him, but honestly, I did believe that $50 million for him is actually quite worth it. He's 24-year-old, still have a long way to go, and I can actually see him as Arsenal captain in the very near future. Gabriel Magalhaes, 7.5 out of 10. At one point, I think he was pretty clueless. The game against Man City probably threw us the game away. Yeah, it was pretty frustrating to see, to be honest, because again, we were that game. I would revisit about games later, but that game kind of frustrated me at one point. And of course, the game against Crystal Palace away from home, where we had a 3-0 defeat. That one was a very very frustrating one as well, because again, he came back from a paternal leave, just wasn't really feeling up to it. But in general, he scores the most goal as a defender in the Premier League, and of course, a very decent player. I love him actually, a just a natural left-footed player on the left-hand side, left center back. So yeah, I'll give him 7.5 out of 10. Rob Holding, 6 out of 10. Yeah, when he came on, can definitely do a job for as well. But you know what, we can't really expect much from him at this age. 26-year-old, and being pretty much the veteran at the back line. And of course, when since we do next season, I think we do have 5 substitutions in total, which means that he could play a big part of the role if we're actually leading by 1 or 2 goals, and you just sub him on. We play 5 at the back, put him at the dead center back. That would be great, to be honest. It would be great for him. But I think in general, as a starting for, it would be tough. Cup games, fine, you can start him, but in general, he is just not the type of player that we need. Doesn't really have the credentials. But again, the one against Spurs was a very reckless challenge. Yes, we conceded the first goal, but there's no way that he threw himself against Son that game. But that could possibly throw our game that game away. So 6 out of 10. Kieran Tierney, 7 out of 10. When he came on again, all the basic stuff he can perform, but again, offensively has been great. Defensively has been very consistent. Nothing noticeably well done, but he did a great job there. Future Arsenal captain for sure for me. But you know what? I give him 7 out of 10 is because his injury issue has been quite ongoing. Apparently he missed at least half of the games that he has signed for Arsenal so far. So that is a very interesting take. And a lot of people are thinking about whether if he should be the Arsenal captain in the long run, because people are expecting him to be missing at least half of the season, in which he did for the past 2 seasons, or past 3 seasons. This upcoming season will be his 4th. So 7 out of 10. Again, we just needed him the most on the left hand side. And he has an injury, then there's nothing we can talk about. Nuno Tavares, 6 out of 10. I think I wouldn't necessarily say he is like one of the good signings, but a very decent signings. Provide a good competition from Kieran Tierney. When Tierney was out for October, November, that period, Nuno Tavares was actually playing well. Offensively, he has a very great power. I believe there is definitely more in him to offer for the team, but right now defensively he is all over the place at one point. He is not quite paying attention, to be honest. And It cost us a few points a few times, but offensively, good run on the ball. You know what? When he strive for the ball, you just gotta love it. The way how he puts so much power, just keep him running and running and running, and that's what he did. Unfortunately, he only scored one goal. It was not a long range goal; instead, it's more of a tap in. But again, sometimes he could be very, very reckless in terms of going forward. But I think in general, I believe there is still a player in him, but based on recent reports, most likely he is going to go out on loan. So, and we might sign Aaron Hickey from Bologna. But of course, this kind of stuff we just have to wait and watch. CDM. There's a lot of them. I'll go for Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles probably 5 out of 10. Didn't really perform much, and of course, he did complain about the playing time. And the last game that he played for Arsenal was against Watford, when I think Partey was absent that game, and he pulled out a man of the match moment. And since then, you never heard from him anymore. 5 out of 10. Just haven't really been proving a lot. Mohamed El Neni, I'll give him 7 out of 10. Yeah, a lot of people doubting him when Albert Lakonga was here, but you know what? When Partey was gone for the rest of the season, Lakonga kind of fits into that role. Didn't really work out, but El Neni stepped in and did a good job. Honestly, a very decent job. But of course, that's the best he can perform. But of course, we do believe that there's other options in the team that could provide a much better range than Elneny. But of course, Elneny did the job, put on the shift. Give it 7 out of 10. The fact that he's been frozen out of for pretty much for so long and coming back, and he isn't even complaining. That's like the good part. Signing an extension, which I think it is a very good move by Arsenal. And you know what? Not gonna complain anything about him. You know what? I'm still happy that he's still part of the squad. Lakonga, 6 out of 10. He's still very young, but hasn't really been impacting Arsenal. But you know what? When Thomas Partey was out, he was starting quite a few games earlier in the season. He looks very bright again. There is so much in him, and hopefully he definitely will get more playing time in the next season with Europa League and hopefully Cup games as well. Granit Xhaka, for me, 8 out of 10 for sure. He missed a few games, of course, early in the season with that reckless red card. Like, the only problem I had with him was probably the red card against Man City. I was very, very disappointed in him. He picked up an injury after Spurs, I believe, and then he was out for a few months until he came back, and he has been consistent for us. Arguably, important piece for Arsenal. And for CDM, you just need him as CDM. You can't move him anywhere. The game against Brighton at home, when you move him to left center back, something's wrong. And you know what? Him moving to left center back or left back, it is a huge issue. You guys can probably see it in general. Without him in the middle, things change for Arsenal in a worse way. Who else? Thomas Partey, 8 out of 10. Very, very good. Again, injury just kind of took the points away from him. But in general, finally he gave himself a 4 out of 10 early in the season. But right now, definitely 8 out of 10 for me. Consistent, very threatening in the middle, good body. Not in that way, but you know what? He has that physicality in the middle, which we really do need. Good passing, good range, and stuff like that. We just need him in the middle. Hopefully next season he will be fit for us, constantly fit for us. 8 out of 10. Martin Odegaard, 9 out of 10 for me. Has been very influential. Yes, he was kind of frozen by Arteta earlier in the season with Lacazette playing at that kind of a central forward, sitting right behind Aubameyang. And once he came on, fantastic for us, just a lovely player. And of course, when that one point is probably when we are actually losing, you can't really see him anywhere on the ball. That's a problem that I have, but again, I can't really blame him. Who else? Bukayo Saka, I would definitely give him a 9 out of 10 for me, or 9.5 out of 10 for me. Yes, there are a few games where he just kind of went silence, but again, this is a breakout season for him. Considering the heartbreak over the Euro 2020, he bounced back. You know what? He took more responsibility, taking He played every game for Arsenal in this season. I'm very proud of him actually, and consistently giving out a very good performance. And again, you know what? He just need more protection from the referee at some point because I don't want to see him injured. But yeah, he is 9 out of 10. Definitely player of the season for me. Scoring 12 goals, I believe, with a few assists. And hopefully next season, he's gonna step up his game. But in terms of his contract situation right now, hopefully he do sign a new contract without any release clause, because it'll be heartbreaking if I see him go. Martinelli, a 7 out of 10. He has been sitting on the bench for early in the season, but when he came on, he did a good job. Very threatening the game against Liverpool when he was playing against Trent Alexander-Arnold on the left-hand side. Just kind of playing him around, but other than that, he is the type of player that when you look him on the bench, you would instantly put him on because he puts so much energy. He just kind of bring the team up in our situation. 7 out of 10, scoring a few goals as well. Emil Smith throws 7.5 out of 10. Again, hasn't really been grown to his game so far yet towards the last few games of the season, where he has been quite quiet, to be honest. But early on, at one point scoring pretty much scoring a goal for every game for like 5 or 6 games in a row, I believe. And at one point, he was the top goal scorer for Arsenal. I came on just do all the basic stuff, but again, those 2 points are pretty much he was out of form towards the end. 2.5 points actually. It was him out of form, and of course, when he's quiet, he is pretty quiet. Who else am I? Nicolas Pepe. 4 out of 10. Just completely. This season was all over the place. I'm not even kidding. All over the place this season. When he came on, just doesn't really seem like he's doing a single thing. Yeah, the big game against Wolves came on. He came on and scored. That was great for him. And other than that, there's not much playing time for him. But I reckon he's gonna leave the club. Aubameyang, 3.5 or 4 again. Yeah, he scored 7 goals for us, but again, we just a very weird situation. That I did talk about my opinion on what happened to him, but in general, it's just very, very disappointing how a captain was stripped and left the club like that. Hasn't been performing well this season, and he missed important few chances as well. Yeah, not much to talk about, to be honest. He left like pretty much 6 months ago or 5 months ago. And who else? Like I said, oh my God, 5 out of 10. Hasn't been scoring a lot of goals here, but assist-wise has been great. But in general, he is going to leave the club, which I do agree. He just doesn't kind of live up with that hype anymore. Just couldn't really score goals. I saw him keep trying to score goals in the last game against Everton, but it just doesn't work out for him. But in general, in terms of like work rate and stuff like that, fantastic. But as a goal scorer and as a striker for next season, it's definitely a no-go. So there you go. Eddie Nketiah, 7 out of 10. Yes. First half of the season and pretty much towards the second half of the season, just didn't really quite working for Arteta. Scoring a lovely hat-trick against Wimbledon, I believe, or some other teams in the Carabao Cup. Scoring the most goals in the Carabao Cup, I believe. Great player, but again, he has looking likely he's going to sign a new contract for us, which is good. Honestly, in the last few games, he has proven to us that he has proven Arteta wrong by scoring a few goals, banging a few goals. But I believe he is a very good backup. He can score goals, definitely better than Arteta, but in the next season, hopefully he would step up and take more responsibility in the striker role. And right now, looking likely, Arsenal might sign Gabriel Jesus. Hopefully, it is true. Hopefully, he is our number one striker. But Eddie Nketiah, definitely do need him to step up next season just in case. And who am I missing? I think that's all pretty much, I believe. Charlie Patino, he scored 1 goal, but I can't really rate him that highly at this point. Yeah, he's played twice for us. The game against was it Wimbledon? I don't remember, guys. 5-0. It was some sort. I forgot what team it was. And again, Nottingham Forest. That was a pretty bad overall performance. But anyway, yeah, best game of the season. There's a lot. I would definitely pick Man City. 2-1. The ones that we lost 2-1. That one was a good game. It was New Year's Day for me. I was watching 4:30 in the middle of the night. It was very exciting to watch in the first half. But again, the first half, it's something that I haven't seen for a while. And honestly, it was great. It was probably one of the most joyful things to see, to watch on TV. And that first half was amazing, to be honest. And I love every moment of it. It's a shame how Edison on Odegaard, that could have been a penalty. Didn't really go and take a look. But on the other side, just whole double standard VAR officiating in general. But yeah, it was quite atrocious in the second half. But again, the first half is something that I really love to see, and I love every moment of it. Worst game, we don't really need a worst game of the moment. Again, it's the one against Man City, conceded the most, but arguably can say the one against Spurs was also bad as well. Just kind of reckless. But anyway, we are heading towards the end of the season. This is pretty much how I think overall in the season. We only have a few minutes left to end this video. I'm going to just give my prediction over the summer. Honestly, in the summer, Arsenal has to go big in this one. We got to add more squad quality. And right now we have a lot of players who went on loan, came back to the club. Those players are needed to be sold as soon as possible. Get maybe 40-50 millions off them. Hopefully that's gonna happen. And of course, right now we are looking to sign a striker. Yuri Tillemans is on the radar right now. 25 million euros or 25 million pounds. It's a good bargain, but hopefully Arsenal going to do sign players. And you know what? Big one right here, William Saliba. I'm so happy that a few days ago he did announce he will be staying for the club. And it is something that I really do want to see. I want to see him play, honestly. The thing that's like, you loaned him out 3 seasons in a row. And last season he has proven himself to be a great player for Marseille and also for the French international team. And he was nominated, he was named a young player of the season, also being a part of the best 11. And you know what, the thing that's like, with that type of prestige, you gotta play him. There's no way you gotta let him go. So I'm really excited to see William Saliba to be back in the team. In terms of how the center back issue is going to be like, nobody knows. I don't even know at this point, but we'll see. And in exactly 2 months, the Premier League starts again. Very, very excited. Honestly, next season Arsenal has to qualify for the Champions League no matter what. Go all out. Arsenal has to get Champions League. Europa League definitely winnable, but I really do hope that they're gonna win. FA Cup again, I'm not saying that it's not winnable, but definitely need something in the bag next season with the squad that we might potentially have. And of course, you guys can see on the screen right here, or if you guys been actually listening throughout the whole video or watching the whole video, signing a few players as well. Very excited. Those players I won't be going through until the next episode, where I'll be actually playing just the Champions League. So the format's going to be quite easy. So how we're going to do this is, well, we're playing 6 games in the group stage. So the next video will be the first 3 games and then the last 3 games. Hopefully qualify for quarterfinal, semifinal, final, whatever, until we win the Champions League. That's my goal for to finish it off this series. And arguably I could have played the whole season as well without simming any game. But oh well. You know what? This is a much easier, much convenient for me to do. And I think I'm going to have fun. Hope you guys are going to have fun. Hope you guys enjoy this video. enjoy listening to my review of the season, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in a bit.